That we've got here at Wembley, and terrific atmosphere. Nice to see Brian Clough with a collar tie on. He's adjusting the tie. Obviously, he doesn't wear one too often because he talked about wearing the old green jersey, didn't he, as his working clothes. Right. But it's nice to see him looking smart.
Of course, the last time they were here, old Jimmy Gordon led them out, if you remember. So this is a bit new for Cloughie.
That is correct. I'm delighted to see him walking out because, I mean, if anybody deserves to get teams to Wembley, Cloughie does. He's marvellous over the years, the teams that he's built.
Where does your favour lie this afternoon?
Well, I've gone for Nottingham Forest, you know, because Greavesy wanted to take Luton for some reason. He wanted to put the mockers on Luton. But I've gone for Forest because I really admire the way they play, and I think they're a super side. And if it goes to form, obviously they will win, because Luton's form of late hasn't been that good, has it?
How's that likely to affect them on this big Wembley occasion, Ian?
Well, sometimes you can come to Wembley and you know, produce brilliant form. I thought they were great last year, and nobody expected them to beat Arsenal. So again today, if they can find the form that I know they're capable of, because they can play good football, and if they find it, I think we're in for another cracking match. But I do feel that the Forest have the more skillful players, the better side.
All right, well, that's the view of Ian St John. Let's hear now what David Pleat's got to say about it all. He's with Brian Moore.
Now, Luton, in fact, have reverted to the side that beat West Ham in the semi-finals. They rate that their best performance of the season. It means that in goal they have Les Sealy. Number 2 is Tim Breaker. You'll see him pushing forward down the right. Likewise, the number 3, the left back, Ashley Grimes. Number 4, the busy little midfield man, David Priest. At the centre of the defence, number 5, the skipper, Steve Foster. And alongside him, at number 6, David Beaumont, a Scot from Dundee United. He made his first appearance for Luton in the semi-finals. He's never been inside Wembley before today. Number 7, Danny Wilson, formerly of Nottingham Forest, right side of midfield. Number 8, the South African-born, American-educated Roy Wegley, a dangerous goal scorer, as indeed is the number 9, Mick Harford. He offers a real threat to Forest in the air this afternoon. At number 10, Ricky Hill, so much style and skill in the midfield from him. And at number 11, 20-year-old Kingsley Black, the youngest man in the team, left side of midfield. What about Nottingham Forest? Steve Sutton in goal. Number 2, Brian Laws, the right back, playing with protection over a gash. Required 20 stitches in his right hand. He fell on a wine glass. Number 3, that swashbuckling skipper, Stuart Pearce. 4, the brilliant young central defender, Des Walker, playing alongside the 20-year-old Scot, Terry Wilson, who wears the number 5. And at number 6 is Steve Hodge. At 7 is Tommy Gaynor, who replaces the injured winger, Franz Carr. 8 is Neil Webb. What a stage for his midfield skills. 9 is Nigel Clough, the manager's son, and top scorer once again with 17. Followed at number 10 by Lee Chapman, 14 goals from him. And then at number 11, Gary Parker, once of Luton Town, scorer of that vital winner in the semi-final at Bristol City. The substitutes today, Darren McDonough and Raphael Mead for Luton Town, Steve Chettle and Lee Glover for Nottingham Forest. Our referee, Roger Milford from Bristol. There are odds, of course, that Ladbrokes offer on who might get the first one. 8-1, Nigel Clough and Lee Chapman. 9-1, Mick Harford and Roy Wegley. 12-1, Hill. 14-1, Gaynor, Pearson, Webb. And down to 66-1, Des Walker of Nottingham Forest, who, in fact, hasn't scored in his 4 seasons with Nottingham Forest. Well, will Nigel Clough be one of them? At 8-1, Lee Chapman alongside him, the 2 main threats. But Mick Harford, who scored in both legs of the semi-final, as did Roy Wegley for Luton. And there's the young son. And his father, in fact, has changed out of his blazer in the second row. That's typical. He's changed into his tracksuit. Red shirts, a young side full of fantastic potential, but an unknown quantity just how they might react on a big occasion like this. Against Luton Town, the holders who overcame Arsenal in the final last season in the most dramatic circumstances. Just a little bit of breeze that we've got. Absolutely perfect conditions. The pitch is looking wonderful too. Roger Milford taking a last look around. And the Littlewoods Cup final of 1989 is underway. Forest then attacking the goal to the left. Nigel Clough getting straight in. Ray Harford saying that he felt that Clough might be the most dangerous man they face. He gets so many things working as Nottingham Forest come forward. Webb trying to get Gaynor away. Just wondering how much, as you were saying, they'll miss the pace of Franz Carr down that right touchline. The Irishman, Tommy Gaynor, wearing the number 7 shirt this afternoon. David?
Well, of course, it's a strange position, but he has played there in the last 3 or 4 to give him a real feel of it. And, of course, they're missing Crosby as well, who also plays very well on the right-hand side and was influential last season.
Webb to Gaynor. Lee Chapman's made a show for him. Hall's playing it in, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Luton Town. Luton, who last season really set about their task in brilliant style against Arsenal, attacked them from the start and unsettled them. And I just wonder whether they will seek to put Forest out of their stride in the early parts of this game. Les Seeley, who missed the final last season, Andy Dibble played, if you remember, and made a hero of himself by saving a penalty. And Ashley Grimes, who came on as a sub last season, in fact made the winning goal for Brian Steen. Webb to Chapman. Priest, good left foot. Terry Wilson got the header in there. Danny Wilson coming in quickly for Luton Town. Breaker, and Wilson striding away down on this side of the field, but it'll be a throw taken by Stuart Pearce for Nottingham Forest back to his goalkeeper Steve Sutton. Good defensive record, Forest. 4 clean sheets in the last 6 for Steve Sutton in his defence.
You saw right early on there where Grimes had 2 touches with Seeley, where Forest just backtracked, quite happy to let Luton have possession deep in their half, fill the spaces up, wait for Forest to come at them, intercept, and then that's when they counter so well.
But equally, I think Ray Harford is well aware, David, also that one of the problems when you play Nottingham Forest is that they tend to draw you forward, don't they, and then hit you on the counter-attack. Is that the point you're making?
Yes, that's quite right, that Forest do base their game on the counter-attack, and they don't play this what I call high-pressure football, trying to win the ball early and knocking big, long, high balls. It should be a very good chessboard game of football today, and the only things you can be sure of, that Forest won't play that banal offside ploy. They will attempt to play the ball on the ground, and it will be completely against the grain if they get into trouble with the referee.
Hodge well forward again, but the threat cut out by Steve Foster. Pearce with the throw for Nottingham Forest. Hodge. Pearce again. Parker. Pearce. Played in for Clough. Played for Hodge. Quickening it up. But Grimes is there for Luton Town, but still Forest pressurising, but the flag is up for an offside against Gary Parker.
That'll be an interesting challenge, Parker against Breaker. Parker won't get past Breaker for pace. They're both ex-colleagues of each other in the Luton youth team, and they'll know each other well. They'll probably have a chat on the way by this afternoon, but it's lovely to see them in opposition.
Grimes. Weigel is chasing this one. Walker there. Laws. And now Webb. Trying to get Gaynor through. Beaumont there very quickly, though. Interesting character came down from Dundee United. When you see him off the field with spectacles, he looks like office worker, but he plays in contact lenses, actually on the field of play. His first game was the semi-final. And of course what Luton will hope is that number 6 becomes another Mal Donaghy.
Very high standards to live up to, but he started very well, and he must be very confident after his first few weeks in English football.
Free kick to Nottingham Forest to be taken by Brian Laws. Neil Webb, challenged quickly by Harford. Wilson. Got a lovely stride about him, Terry Wilson. Played. Not such a good pass. Started his life more as a midfield player, but now has come into the back four, keeping out Colin Foster. Nick Harford trying to get Wegley away now. He's a lad with a lot of pace to him. Wilson stuck with him. Breaker. And a goal kick. Quite a contrast in the way both sides have played since the semi-finals. As I say, Luton Town have played 7, they've lost 6 of them and won none. Forest have played 8 and won 5 of them. Priest, but as David Pleat was saying, with the relegation fears behind them for one weekend, might be a much more relaxed and therefore much more effective Luton side, but at the moment they're being pushed back as Gaynor now takes it down the right for Nottingham Forest. Hodge bringing in Pearce. He's got a thunderous left foot shot. Parker. Hodge. Pearce turning it in. Webb had gone right forward there. It was Foster getting it away with some help in the first place by Beaumont. And a foul by Parker. A free kick to Luton. A quiet overture at the moment. David?
Well, I think early on you find each other out. Neat passing moves. There's been no long balls from the back. And I think it's going to be which team passes it accurately. And because we know the Forest testimony has always been, you must be comfortable on the ball.
Slipped by Wilson. Wegley. But look how quickly Laws got back. Interesting long ball there by Ashley Grimes that suddenly put Forest in trouble, and the trouble increased when Terry Wilson lost his footing. It looks as though they are trying with these long balls to seek out the pace of Wegley. Here's Breaker now. There's another long one, this time finding the head of Harford. Knocked down for Kingsley Black, almost the first touch he's had. And now Webb for Forest. In for Gaynor, playing in a more accustomed central attacking position. And a foul on the Irishman. Gives a free kick to Nottingham Forest. Pierce. Laws. Gaynor. Back in that station on the right-hand side. Webb playing it in. Hill. Ricky Hill again. Priest. Nice little touch. Harford wanting that. Gets it back to Priest again. It wasn't the best of passes, but Priest stuck out the foot. Killed it in an instant. Luton beginning to play it around with a growing confidence. Danny Wilson. This time again looking with that long ball to try and get Wegley away. Nigel Clough. Breaker. Ricky Hill, but turned back by Webb. Beaumont. Forest throw.
To speak about the longer ball, Brian, I'm sure Ray Harford has spoke to Luton that Forest tend to go back with the runs that are being made by forward players, so that if there is space behind, they know they're going to be covered by Forest players, but they can join in from there.
Crease, another long ball. This time Wegley seeking to get on the end of it, but Walker so assured. Parker just getting there before Danny Wilson, but no, that wasn't a good ball by Terry Wilson. And here's Danny Wilson for Luton Town. A long cross, didn't quite reach Wegley. Laws with the header. Now Black for Luton. The cross comes in, up goes Wilson. Breakers in there. Danny Wilson again, putting a different one in that time. It was with a certain amount of venom. Not unpromising start by Luton.
A very good start, and they're looking for this diagonal ball, trying to search them out in the air. Terry Wilson's made one or two uncharacteristic early mistakes, and I'm sure Luton are going to keep putting that ball in beyond the centre-backs for Harford's power in the air.
Swift challenge by Hodge. Well, it's a test for the big blonde Terry Wilson. He's just 20 years old. Facing the might of Mick Harford and Roy Wegley. Breaker again. Now Wilson getting underneath this one. Harford beyond him. And Crease was in there. Well, that would have been totally unexpected, because David Crease, I don't think, has scored in the last 3 seasons for Luton Town, but he was in a very strong and promising position there once Harford had won that ball in the air.
Well, I think there was evidence again, Brian. They're going to continually put this diagonal one in and try and get someone breaking into the box to get the benefit of Harford's headwork.
Crease not quite tall enough. Clough finding Laws. And now Webb. Harford, as they say, letting Wilson know he's around. A formidable character is Mick Harford. I'm saying to you that he scored in both legs of the semi-final against West Ham, but he hasn't scored a goal since then. Clough in for Hodge. Got Parker available. That's a goal kick. Free kick to Luton. Foul on Roy Wegley. A lad who was born in South Africa, played for Tampa Bay Rowdies in Florida. Spotted there by Rodney Marsh. Came to Chelsea, and by way of Chelsea to Luton Town. It's Ricky Hill. Played forward. Foster's gone to add his height to this situation. Danny Wilson. And it flicked off the Forest defender to provide Luton Town with their first corner.
And I think, Brian, a very similar free kick to which Arsenal benefited from last year against Luton. But once again, Harford and Foster are formidable in the air.
Indeed. Well, let's see what they can do with this one, as Ricky Hill being told to get the ball inside that quadrant. There's our camera inside the Forest goal. They'll be hoping the ball doesn't follow it in there. Sutton going and using his fist to get it away. Gaynor helped it away once again. Grimes driving it in. Fine save. Ashley Grimes hasn't scored at all this season, but that was so close to giving Luton the start they wanted. And fine work by Steve Sutton in the Forest goal. Hill with the corner again. Walker getting up there with that one. Chapman half getting it away. Nigel Clough then dinking it forward for Gary Parker. Suddenly a lot of red shirts were forward, and Clough took on just a little too much, but it might come for Gaynor. Laws, a little chip in, and Flag was up for an offside, presumably. A touch and go at the other end for Forest, though, just a moment ago.
Well, having survived that little bit of Luton pressure, it was so good to see Forest break so quickly and throw bodies forward. There really is going to be two attacking sides playing here.
The fist away by Sutton, and Grimes caught this magnificently. And a splendid save by Sutton, who's in possession again for Nottingham Forest. Hammering a high one again towards Harvard. He obliges, but that time Laws can turn it back. Gainer. Webb's onside. Clough's waiting in the middle, but Foster's there for Luton. Grimes getting it away. Harford again. A shove in the back that time by Terry Wilson.
Harford certainly looks on song, Brian. He's winning balls in the air, his control is excellent, and sometimes his bullish behaviour on the field belies his great quality. He's got tremendous courage, terrific technique, and at the moment Luton will be more than happy with the way they've started this game.
Grimes for Luton. Getting that ball hit long again towards Mick Harford. Parker hooking it away. Clough just can't get their act going at the moment, Forest. This is David Beaumont to Tim Breaker for Luton Town. Danny Wilson. Tim Breaker, who had a chunk of the season lost to him when he had a hernia operation. Wilson off Hodge. Pearce. Foster. Terry Wilson gets it back. Beaumont. Harford. Stopped by Hodge. And now Pearce. Steve Hodge.
Not the type of ball that Parker would relish there. He's a player who likes the ball to his feet. He likes to work the ball and manoeuvre the ball. He's not one of those that's going to tear inside the fullback and get onto any through balls.
Now Grimes again. Will it be another long ball? Oh, there you are. Aimed once more towards Harford, but Des Walker got there first. Webb in again. Hasn't really made his influence felt in the opening 17 minutes of the game. Still no score. Breaker. Certainly Luton imposing themselves on Nottingham Forest, just as they did against Arsenal in the opening phase of the final last year. Breaker. Danny Wilson. Was just glancing it on. Gaynor was behind him. At the start of the afternoon, it was the fans in red, the Forest end, who were making all the noise, but they've been silenced, well, not silenced, but they've subdued a little bit by this opening burst of Luton Town's. Here's Lee Chapman. Parker. Here's the captain. Chapman. Laws. He's got Gaynor away on the right. Playing inside to Neil Webb. Foster going in. He's lost the challenge though. Nigel Clough playing there for Chapman. No, the flag is up. An offside. And the goal is ruled out. First bit of menace really that Forest have shown, the first time they've really put an act together coming forwards. Ooh.
Well, if you level, you're off, Brian. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Spot on decision.
Harford. And now Laws. Brought down, free kick. Finding Webb in a bit of space. The kick was taken quickly and it just for the moment got Luton on the wrong foot. Here's Tommy Gaynor. Finding Hodge. Pearce available. Parker away on the left available. It's Webb. Late for Pearce again, but Danny Wilson was in quickly. Good bit of defending there by Wilson. The other Wilson, Terry to Brian Laws. Clough to Gaynor. Forest love to have two people wide as Gaynor and Parker are. Chapman trying to turn, but again good defending this time by Ashley Grimes.
I just feel at the moment that Nigel Clough is just coming into some midfield territory there and he's not being picked up and he's just instigating one or two passes out to the wide players.
David Priest tapped by Hodge. Breaker. Harford. Hill. Clough. Webb. Gaynor to Laws. Back for Webb again. Now for Nigel Clough. Stopped though by Beaumont. And now Priest, who's got a good left foot on him. Knocked down by Regularly, but Harford couldn't quite get there. He was being well watched by Wilson. Here's Laws. Forest now getting the bit between their teeth a little, and Breaker puts it wide for the corner. Forest's first of the afternoon, with 22 minutes gone, and still Luton Town 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Gary Parker then with the corner for Nottingham Forest. Lee Chapman at the near post and Terry Wilson also. Wilson turns it back for Parker. Seeley coming for this one and gathers it quite comfortably. Good, competent goalkeeper, 31 years of age, with a lot of experience.
There's the situation again. Beaumont rolling it across to Breaker with Forest making no attempt to get the ball. The ball being played back once again square. So Forest are more than happy with this, just setting themselves and getting ready to intercept at the back, but covering all the spaces.
Black. But Webb brought down by Priest, free kick. Clough gets to Parker. Breaker thought about an interception and couldn't quite make it. Parker now finding Pearce, who just loves to get forward. Forest throw. The captain with it. few there by Foster. Another Forest throw.
I think this left side could be crucial. I've got a feeling as the game settles on, Pearce is going to come forward more, and Danny Wilson's going to be at his most alert to track him and pick him up and stop him coming into the spaces.
When he gets a head of steam up, he's a difficult man to stop, is Stuart Pearce. But here's Terry Wilson. Neil Webb to Tommy Gaynor. Gain stationed on that far touchline. Brian Laws tried to flick the ball inside the fullback for him. Grimes then gives it back to Gaynor. Ricky Hill, now Wilson. It's a game that's threatening to take off without actually doing it, isn't it?
It's two passing teams, Brian, and both of them are very composed, not really rushing to get the ball forward. And so you've got the extreme today, possibly, of two sides who are quite happy to pass the ball. I think Luton, when they get into wide positions, will look for balls into box a bit earlier than Forest, but at the same time, at the moment, it's cat and mouse.
Ashley Grimes to Roy Wegley. Yes, Webb read that superbly for Forest, and then had that little interchange with Lee Chapman. Webb going on, a little touch for Clough, back again for Webb. Webb shot! Good save by Seeley. Well, at least he stopped it, and there was no harm in his inability to hold it, because there were no red shirts around, and Danny Wilson was able to tidy up for him. Pleasant little intricate move forward there by Forest. Seeley behind the shot. Walker back to Sutton.
I think Brian has probably been one offside decision so far, the crucial one where Chapman's put it in. But I think you'll get today, the midfield players will really relish the space in between the two back fours. It's a nice open game. There's not going to be the constant referee's whistle, and it's the team that passes it best and takes the chances that's going to win the day.
Breaker. Clough winning that challenge against Priest, bringing Neil Webb into it. Now Kingsley back. Young player of great potential. Now a Northern Ireland international, trying to get Ricky Hill through. And the angle was just too sharp. That looked to be a glorious opportunity opening up for Luton Town. After some excellent work by Kingsley Black, and again a slip by Terry Wilson, not having his best game of the season by a long way, and suddenly the angle became more and more impossible until the end. It's a goal kick.
It was a lovely subtle run by Hill, and it was the first time that Black's really got in possession of the ball and worked it. I would like to see him get the ball more, but he's playing slightly infield. He's not really hugging the touchline. And I'm sure that if he could get out there and they could get him a service wide, he could cause problems for Brian Laws, because maybe Brian's best in possession of the ball rather than defending.
Well, here is Brian Laws, his cross coming in. Beaumont up well to deny Hodge any possibilities. Laws to Webb. Clough. Will Tommy Gaynor get to it? No, he won't. It's a goal kick. As you say, a great run by Ricky Hill as well, wasn't it? That looked odds on a Luton goal for a moment.
Yeah, it was a clever little run because he just got on the blind side of Terry Wilson there, and Terry Wilson thought for a second he might have got it, but Hill's run and the accuracy of the pass just defeated him.
Such an intelligent player. There have been stories this week that this might be one of his last games for Luton, that he might be on his way, although Ray Harford tells me he still has 1 year of a contract to run at Pennyworth Road. Hill spraying the ball about now. Luton. Danny Wilson to Ashley Grimes. Foster. Pitch splendid for passing teams. It's good and it's true. Splendid condition. Beaumont and Forest at the moment just can't get a sniff of the ball. Yeah, just funnel everybody back into their own half. Well, now they may have some defending to do. Kingsley Black. Priest. Harford almost there. Ricky Hill. And Hodge. Only half getting it away. Priest's shot deflected. Sutton needed to go down.
Unless Black can get wide and get some possession of the ball, we're not going to have any orthodox wing play this afternoon. It's going to be very much, as I say, controlled passing game. And I'm sure Forest do miss that extra dimension of having Franz Carr out there with his pace to drag defenders.
Harford offside. Really shot into prominence last season when he was a surprise choice for the final against Arsenal. Still, as you can see, only 20. Look at that for a year. Division 1 international debut, plus 2 Wembley finals in 1988. The Simod as well as the Littlewoods. Opted to play for Northern Ireland as opposed to England. And dual qualification. David Beaumont, Ashley Grimes. They've been pretty secure as a back four so far, the Luton side. Playing that long ball. Law's getting it back to Sutton. And with half an hour gone, we await the first goal.
Sure, the first half hour has suggested, Brian, that it's going to be far closer than many pundits suggested. Cup finals always are, and I think Luton settled very well, as though we've been here before and it's nothing new to us, and we are good passers of the ball, so let's go and enjoy it. And they seem very comfortable at the moment, as do Forest. There's a limit of the pressure being put on to either back four.
Wilson to Pearce. Off he goes on that run. Lee Chapman bowled over, though, as he did so. Danny Wilson to Roy Wegley. Breaker. Breaker challenged by Walker, but went through that challenge. Foster taking no chances. To the safe arms. There's Seeley. In goes Wilson. One ahead of there that'll do his confidence the world of good, but Gaynor couldn't find Clough with his pass. Priest went through the challenge there by Hodge. You wouldn't think the team in the bottom three of the First Division was playing the team that's fourth in the First Division. Luton looking in a very composed state of mind.
Forest are allowing Luton to play at their pace, which I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, but Forest are excellent at this. They allow them to have the ball, they wait for them, and then all of a sudden they need a break on the counter. But at the moment, it's not making for an exciting game, a slow game, and just a passing game.
And an uncomfortable one for Nigel Clough. Beaumont just being called to referee Roger Milford for the challenge on the Forest number 9. Just an untidy scrawl, really. It didn't look anything too bad. Here's Neil Webb. Clough going in with Ricky Hill. David Priest gets it away now for Wegley, but he still can't get a run on the ball. Little Stephen Hodge stopped him there. Tommy Gaynor. Tommy went through 2 of them. Now it's with Ricky Hill. it back. Priest and Law's getting in a pretty unpleasant tangle there just for a moment. And right under the Royal box where all the Football League officials are standing, and Roger Milford quite rightly saying, come on. We don't want an afternoon spoiled with that sort of nonsense. Ray Harford will be glad that he made it from the dressing room to the bench. Anybody who's had back trouble will sympathise with him. He's had some terrible trouble with his back over the last week. In fact, watching him yesterday on the training ground, he actually had to kneel down to get a bit of relief, still barking out his orders while the training went on. But consolation was he won the Grand National Sweep run by Luton Town players. Well, here's Breaker. Luton at the moment must feel, well, they've got a fair chance of winning the sweep here today. They've made a really good start. Still no goals, 35 minutes gone. Tim Breaker's throw. Roy Wegley. Grease. In for it. Onto the left foot. Game on Terry Wilson. It'll be a corner. Steve Sutton couldn't quite keep it in play. Aiming, I think, to the linesman that he had, but certainly from this position it looked as though it had just crossed the line. Well, it provides Luton with a corner. Up comes Steve Foster. Roy Wegley at the near post. Somewhere lurking, yes, at the edge of the box is the powerful figure of Mick Harford. Ricky Hill just behind him. There's the corner. Aim for the head of Harford. Danny Wilson now, turning a good cross back in there again. And it's the goal there for Harford. Sutton just got his hand to it, but couldn't stop it going into the net for Luton Town. And the big man who saves important goals for important cup ties. 2 in the semi-finals, and he hasn't scored since. And although Sutton got an arm to it, Harford's header goes home, and Luton Town, the underdogs, go into the lead.
I think Harford, there was 5 players around Harford there, but he still managed to scare them with his presence and direct his header. And I was just about to say when Priest took the corner how accurate he can be with that ball to the back post. And at the moment, one can see the Luton plan, and so far it's worked a treat. They're looking to hit Harford as early as possible, get balls into that box and hope to unsettle Forest in the air.
Well, that's going to sort a few things out. And then we shall see how Forest can respond. Parker playing it in, Priest getting it away. Pierce again, towards Webb on the far side, and push back towards goalkeeper Seeley by Ashley Grimes. Unhappy with the job he had to do, and maybe a little fearful that he came a bit close to making it an own goal. Forest. Nick Harford a 9-1 shot for scoring the first goal. Pierce taking it from Parker. Foster there for Luton. Cross is a good one. And saved there by Beaumont. Webb was right in there. And, well, Chapman was kicking lumps out of the goalkeeper there. Webb desperately trying to stop and doing a mediator's job there, because Seeley wanted to have a go at Chapman, and he was hauled back by the Nottingham Forest number 8. And I think the Luton goalkeeper really incensed there by the treatment of him as he was lying on the floor there, I think probably from Lee Chapman. Neil Webb trying to get it in there, and a bit of boot going in there from Lee Chapman, and Seeley very unhappy indeed about it. And in fact, Chapman now being spoken to by the referee, and will get a yellow card. A yellow card touch-up.
I must say how well Seeley reacted there, because that was a difficult situation. They were beaten on the far post when the ball came back in. He's very brave, is Les, and he's a bright, chirpy character. But this occasion will hold no problems for him at all today. He'll love this scene, he'll love this atmosphere. And he likes giving a few verbal volleys from the safety of his net.
Back to Harford. Grimes. Ricky Hill. Hill again. Back. Little bit of dazzle coming up from Luton Town. Back again. And again, Forest can't get near it, but now they can. Webb still really hasn't made his presence felt on that midfield. And Luton continue to have more of the running, but now Hodge on the break for Nottingham Forest, brought down by Danny Wilson. That'll be a free kick.
I must say how well little Priest is doing in the Luton build-up. She's at the hub of everything as usual, bright and busy. They call him Minnie Mouse, but he's a very tenacious player and an excellent early passer.
Hodge brought down by Breaker. Free kick to Forest. Maybe a little too far out for Nigel Clough to try something like curl towards the Luton goal, but Pearce is behind it. And he packs a real punch. Terrific atmosphere, supercharged now with Luton Town going into the lead. And Clough, well, he curled it, and there wasn't a lot to spare.
Tremendous effort, really got his foot round the ball. I believe he scored a goal at Luton this season in the league from a similar position, probably slightly nearer. But that was a tremendous effort at goal. Fortunately, the goal has brought the whole thing to life. We needed the goal, it's come to Luton, and I'm sure Forest are going to go for it a little bit more.
Well, here we are at the other end of the field. Camera inside the goal, finding the ball in there with it as well, and that was the reaction from the Luton Town bench. I didn't notice Ray Harford jumping up. I think his bad back prevented him doing that.
I think he's got the doctor sitting behind him, Brian. I think the doctor's rubbing his back as the game's going on.
Breaker. Forward towards Wegley. It's a nice little touch on by Wegley. Harford there again, and Sutton had to be alert to stop that one. A lovely flick on by Wegley. They missed his cutting edge while he was out with a hamstring injury. He missed 5 games, came back against Aston Villa last week. So valuable that he was in there today. Pearce for Nottingham Forest. Laws. Ashley Grimes. Little Priest. That's Luton's ball. You made him man of the match, didn't you, in the live game at West Ham, David Priest?
I did indeed. I thought he did very well in that game, and he's only in his mid-20s now. He's given good service to Luton, and it's hard to get talented left-sided midfield players who can be good playmakers and good workers at the same time.
There's Walker. Hodge. Parker. Moving to the space for Pearce. It's with Webb. They're really working hard though, Luton. There were 3 around Webb once he got possession, and now they're breaking out quickly, but a little too quickly because Wilson could turn it back, but showing the pressure maybe that he's under. That was a real nothing pass. Danny Wilson. Harford. Forrest was with him. Ricky Hill's got a problem at the moment, which he's attracted the referee's attention to it, and he may have dislocated a finger possibly. Wondering how they can make good this goal scored after 36 minutes by Mick Harford. There he was, jumping above them all, off Steve Sutton, back of the net.
It was a perfect ball, wasn't it, by Danny Wilson? Perfectly placed.
And he's unhappy playing on the right side of midfield. There at the back here in the second row, Brian Clough, flanked by Alan Hill on the left as we look at it, and Ronnie Fenton on the right. Feeling any pain from his bad back, Ray Harford has had it soothed by Mick Harford's goal, I'm sure. Webb, good skills, deceiving Harford and deceiving Priest, but Priest is after him and brings him down, and the referee, he was really angry with that, was Webb, and he was entitled to be as well, because that was a good move and he was well on his way, and Priest might well find he's going to get a yellow card.
I just hope he didn't give him the yellow card as a result of Webb's protestations there, because that happened before. When the other yellow card was produced, it was after Seeley had had a real go, and sometimes you wonder whether the player who's been fouled, if he gets up and makes a big song and dance, convinces the referee to do it. It wasn't a bad foul.
But it was an annoying one, David, wasn't it, when Webb was clearly in full flight and fancied his chances a little bit.
All fouls are annoying, Brian.
That's right. Now, what's Clough going to do with this one? Oh, he's going to play it for Pearce. This could be interesting. Driven straight at Seeley.
Seeley made that save look easy. It was a difficult ball. It was perfect position, edge of the 6-yard box. There's some real pace in it.
Half-time whistle. And what a good first half for Luton Town, leading with Mick Harford's goal scored after 36 minutes. The underdogs leading in this Littlewoods Cup final at Wembley. We're going to take a short break. Welcome back to Wembley then. As the second half gets underway, Luton Town leading Nottingham Forest, the favourites, by 1-0. Forest still with the Simod Cup to be played here against Everton. And still, of course, an FA Cup semi-final against Liverpool coming up at Hillsborough. Plenty on their plate at the moment, and certainly plenty on their plate now to try and overcome a confident Luton Town side in this second half. There's Nigel Clough going straight into Steve Foster and getting a free kick. Forest behind here then, but they've lost only 2 of their last 23. A fabulous run of form. But now finding Luton a very, very difficult obstacle indeed to overcome. Gaynor. For Nottingham Forest in the red shirts, Brian Laws. Clough. Got the ball through to Gaynor. The cross coming in, Chapman there. Oh, it just needed a flick and he couldn't quite provide it, and Parker came in fast on the far post. And Forrest so close to getting back into it though. Parker to Pearce. To Webb. Little chip by him. Pearce had gone on. And they get a corner. A brighter start by Nottingham Forest, David Pleat.
Yes, I think Mr. Clough will have generated some words in the dressing room, and they've got to push on. They've really got to go for it. Hodge and Webb, I expect to get forward even more. Harford coming back doing some useful work.
Laws. Stopped by Beaumont. Wilson. Here's Black. What do you feel his line would have been actually at half-time, David?
Well, I think they've got to go and try and win the ball earlier. When Luton are dictating the pace of the game from the back, Forest are allowing them just to play the ball around, and this will give them extra confidence, particularly with being 1 goal in front. I think Forest will just have to come out a little bit more and chase the game and try and win the ball earlier.
The chasing there by Lee Chapman has cost them a free kick. Foster's gone right forward for it. So there are 3 6-footers from Luton now on the edge of that Nottingham Forest penalty area. Harford, Wegley and Foster. Priest lining up behind it, but before he's taking it, claiming that Clough is not 10 yards off the ball. And the referee's decided diplomatically to get Clough to go back 1 more yard. Up they go. It was Pearce's header. Kingsley Black turning it back for the goal kick. Luton Town having beaten Burnley, Leeds, Manchester City, Southampton, and some absolute thrillers they had against Southampton in the quarter-finals, West Ham in the semi-final. Clough, Priest going in there, Beaumont, quick, tidy player, David Beaumont. Harford. Wilson, turning well and beating Pearce. Wegley, very active and always available. A bit of space here now again for Danny Wilson. A little chip by him and Wegley's gone in after it. Wilson was there. Oh, and Harford! And in the end it's Laws who got it away almost off the line. Terry Wilson again not quite sure where he was and missed his footing after a good thrust in the first place by Wegley, and suddenly Harford was in there. For a moment it appeared the goal was at his mercy again. Well, let's have a look at the corner, and then maybe we'll have a look at that moment when we've seen what happens here. Different sort of corner, and not a very profitable one there by Ricky Hill. Here's Clough. That's a good ball. Now Webb. And Chapman's away beyond the last man if he can time his pass. Gaynor's here too, but Luton are getting back in strength. And Forest missed a good opportunity there. One of their players is down injured on the far side. Terry Wilson taking it up though. Neil Webb, a turn by him. Lee Chapman, just over. Nigel Clough is injured. Openings at both ends there, David.
Yeah, the game's certainly up the gear. I must say I was most impressed with Wegley's contribution in that move of Luton's, where Laws just saved Forest's bacon.
That was the Chapman shot, and then the other end of the one you were just talking about, Danny Wilson with the cross.
Yeah, Wegley made an excellent run after being involved in the build-up, and then as it deceived Wilson, it looked as though Harford was a certainty.
And Brian Laws getting in and doing the necessary. Nigel Clough's okay.
As with most games, Brian, second halves tend to get a little bit quicker.
Got a green and a white balloon on the pitch as well. The ball bolted away there by there's Seeley. Gaynor. Just got the impression that Forest may have upped the pace a little bit in this second half. Gaynor to Laws, to Chapman, back to Tommy Gaynor. Lee Chapman with it. Gaynor once more. Now Laws playing it early, but a poor one straight to Beaumont. There's his long ball. Looking for Wegley. Walker's there with him. But Wegley did well. Play on, said the referee. Ricky Hill in possession now for Luton. And now for Priest. Driven straight at the keeper. Hodge. To Clough. To Webb. There's a good ball now, but Gaynor will not keep it in play. Webb obviously saw and has played that sort of ball for the electric pace of Franz Carr. But Carr's injured and on the bench, and Tommy Gaynor couldn't quite reach it. Try as he might. Grimes. Walker versus Wegley. Here's Hill. Chapman. Don't think that will go for Webb. Intercepted by Beaumont. Laws. Hodge. Touch for Neil Webb. Chapman. 2, 4, 6, 7 whack shots are back. As Gaynor takes it on again. The cross there towards Lee Chapman.
It's going to be awfully hard work for the midfield players as the game goes on, because at the moment there's wide open spaces and it's a game of attack and counter-attack.
Keeping the game moving well is Roger Milford. Webb. Webb again. Maybe at half-time, Mr. Clough suggested he should impose himself a little more on the game. He's certainly got the skills, and here's Hodge. That's going to be a penalty. Seeley brings him down, and Forrest gets a reprieve from the penalty spot. Nigel Clough will take it. He, in fact, scored from the spot against Luton in February against Les Seeley.
I can't help feeling that Seeley will be disappointed with that.
Well, let's just see whether he'll be disappointed with this as well. It's 1-1. There'll be a father sitting on the bench for Nottingham Forest who'll be greatly relieved by that. So the red and white flags have come out, and the banners with them. The inflatables too, and Forest are back in business. Nigel Clough's 18th goal of the season and his 5th from the penalty spot. Now we've really got a game. And Luton have been playing so well. As you say, they'll be disappointed to have conceded that penalty. You feel what, that maybe there was a question mark against the penalty decision?
I think no, I think it was a penalty, but I think Les Seeley rushed, came too quickly, should have stood his ground a little bit. It was going quickly. Hodgie was going really away from the goal and wide.
Now Webb, and again he holds his head in his hand, but Tommy Gaynor is struggling manfully up this right touchline, which in fact is a little soggier than anywhere else on the field. I don't think it gets quite the same sunlight that the rest of the stadium gets, and it cuts up just that little bit more. There's about a 4 or 5 yard area down this near touchline, and that's where Gaynor is patrolling at the moment. A nice back heel by Harford. The referee had a good look at that. I noticed as he was running, and Seeley had made his challenge, and he didn't really have any doubts at all. Grimes.
To be fair, Brian, I think the referee looked to the linesman, who didn't hesitate. He was very quick to put his flag across his chest, which signals a penalty. But I just feel Les Sealey could have held his ground, and I'm absolutely sure that Les realised straight away that he'd made an error.
Clough for Forest. Goes Foster. Now Black.
It's a great test of Luton's character now. They could easily go into their shells and think, oh no, we've done so much and we were in front, and all of a sudden it started to go against us, particularly after half had had that narrow incident just after half-time when they might have put the game beyond Forest's reach.
Hodge. Stopped by Danny Wilson. Harford's touch to Wegley.
The two main strikers now up for Luton Town, and Wegley full of pace and running, and so too was Des Walker.
Ricky Hill.
Wegley, Harford is calling for it, and in fact got it. And again there were two Forest defenders, both big men. Tommy Gaynor had gone back as well with Terry Wilson, but still Harford beat him in the air.
Breaker. Parker.
Chapman, don't think it'll get to Clough. The challenge by Bowman was severe but fair. Now Black is down injured with the challenge with Lee Chapman. Wilson.
Foster. Wilson.
It's a shuddering challenge there between Pearce and Breaker. Pearce, if anything, looked to me as though he was going in with his feet high, but it's he who came off second best. David?
Well, he's a very abrasive challenger, is Pearce, and I've often thought that sometimes he goes to ground rather easily in attempts to win the ball. But he's got great drive and he's got great personality, and he really leads from the front, as it were, although he plays from the back.
Right, here's the free kick. Danny Wilson with it. Foster's gone forward for this one, but Law's got the header. Ricky Hill now trying to volley it back.
Got some interesting pictures for you in a moment. We'll show you the Nottingham Forest penalty and a reaction of Brian Clough, the father of the man who scored it, which I think you might find quite interesting. In a moment, when we've got time, we'll show you. So I'm led to believe Ashley Glimes.
This comes to Harford. That's where it is, a little bit stickier down this touchline. The game is flowing so quickly, it's hard to get these sort of pictures in for you. Ricky Hill battling away. Wegley fouled there by Steve Hodge. Hodge brought down for the penalty. One of the few times he got into those forward positions that he likes to make. Now let's just see what Luton can do here. They've got 5 in the wall from Nottingham Forest, and you've got Grimes, or rather, yes, Grimes behind it, Wilson and Priest. It's Wilson, but it's too high. It's a goal kick. All right, here's how Nigel Clough scored from the penalty spot against Les Sealey. It made it look easy, and the reaction from the Forest bench. His father wasn't really looking.
I think
Certainly wasn't going to smile about it, was he?
I think sometimes, Brian, the outward calm belies a and inside really uptight, you know. He's an amazing man, of course.
Foster winning it well. Parker and Breaker. I'm really impressed by Luton this afternoon. They certainly look anything but a side that is struggling against relegation. In the bottom three, but they'll tell you they've got, of the 6 games they've got left, 4 of them are at home. And they feel that if they can just get a few things together, they'll be saving themselves. Parker. Pearce. Going towards Gaynor. Taken nicely on his body. Good work there by Tommy Gaynor. Hodge coming in, wins a good header. He won't want to lose at Wembley. I think, was he in your Tottenham side, David? He was, wasn't he, when you lost to Coventry City here?
He certainly was. Happy Harry. He loves Nottingham. He's settled back in field for Forest rather than being wide on the line. He's quick, he's energetic, and he's always got a goal in his locker. And as the game's developing now, his energy will be vital.
Good tracking back there by Nigel Clough. And a foul that time by Laws on Kingsley Black, who's really suffering. He fell foul of Lee Chapman just a couple of minutes ago. So Luton's free kick. Trace will be taking it. Somebody on the field with the Union Jack. Game goes on. It comes to Danny Wilson. Now for Priest again. And he's certainly not getting any publicity from us. It's a Luton Town throw.
It was lovely to see Nigel Clough make that challenge, Brian, when you said how well he did to get back and chase and win the ball. In actual fact, he glides around with an economy of effort. He makes very few challenges. He's one of these sensible players who plays with his head and doesn't make unnecessary runs.
Well, it's a corner now for Luton Town. Taken quickly. Ricky Hill. Play towards Foster. Here's Priest. Going back again by him. It's Stuart Pearce who got it away. Webb half slipped there. Couldn't get it back again. Black finding Foster. And then Laws in turn will get it back to Stevenson. Luton's problem lately has been scoring goals, as I was saying, since they got through the semi-final, where they've not won in 7. In those 7 games, they've only scored 4 goals, but conceded 16. Well, this man who scored 1 for them today. The score still standing at 1-1 with 20 minutes of the second half gone. We do get extra time today, and if it's level at the end of extra time, then we get a replay at Villa Park on Wednesday night. Here's Stuart Pearce. To Clough. To Webb. And now to Gaynor. Chapman's waiting. Might come for Parker. His shot charged down by Priest. Dominus for Luton when Gaynor got that position, and there's no doubt about it, Chapman hurls himself towards the near post. He gets to that 6-yard box so quickly. Well, they've got a corner, Forest. Parker with it. Played short for Pearce. Driven by him off Ricky Hill for a throw to Forest. just get the feeling also, David, that Neil Webb's beginning to enjoy his game a little more in the second half and coming that much more into it.
Yes, he was very slow in the first half to get the pace of the game. But I feel at the moment they must keep the momentum, Forest. They've got the status quo back now, they've got level, and it's very important that they keep going at Luton.
Clough, half stopped by Foster, who lost his boot.
Breaker.
Walker away. Little cushion header by Wilson. And there's the other Wilson, Terry Wilson.
It's fascinating, isn't it, Brian, how Forest can play this game without having to resort to offside. Every time Luton play a ball over the top and Weghorst is running, Walker tracks him, no intention of raising his hand and claiming offside and disturbing the flow of the game. It's lovely the way Forest keep the game going.
With 67 minutes of this Littlewoods Cup final gone. Foul by Walker on Harford as they both leapt for that high ball. Walker claiming possibly that Harford backed into him and jumped into him, but the linesman was flagging and the referee agreed. Luton get the free kick. Ricky Hill playing it short for Tim Breaker. It's Neil Webb getting it away to Forest. Back. Stopped by Clough. Won by him. Chapman now to Gaynor. Danny Redshirt's forward and Neil Webb is further forward than any of them. There's Webb. A brilliant goal for Forest, and that's 2-1. Well, Neil Webb had a few things to say to Tommy Gaynor because he passed out to him so often and Tommy hadn't been able to gather the ball. That was a superlative ball in by Gaynor. And good, quick thinking and clever skills from Neil Webb.
It was a superb ball. Gaynor's kept the shape all afternoon. He's found difficulty getting past Grimes, but he's kept the shape, and whilst he's been out there, there's always a chance of that ball. But I did feel it was a very close decision there, and they've got the benefit of the linesman's flag.
Forest then leading by 2-1.
Foster was certainly claiming offside, I believe, Brian.
Yes, he was. Walker.
Grimes. And now Foster. Hit towards Weghorst.
Something's there. Certainly made the goal there for Neil Webb. There's Pearce. Luton claiming an offside. But the flag stayed down and Webb did the rest. A foul by Foster there on Clough. Quickly transferred to Gaynor. That's a cheeky one there by Gaynor, flicked in with the outside of his right boot. Neil Webb, of course, who still hasn't signed a new contract for Nottingham Forest, telling me in the week that they'll be sitting down all the parties after this game to decide just what they're going to do. And Neil Webb is not giving anybody a clue at the moment whether he's going to stay or whether he's going to go.
Nigel Clough's really becoming an influence on this game. He's dropped off Foster, he's playing deeper now, 20 yards, he's almost playing in midfield, he's not being picked up, and his deft little touches are causing problems for Forest. Completely unlike the orthodox centre-forward, and it gives Forest something different in their play.
Hodge. Priest. Now Grimes. Harford. Stopped by Webb. I don't think Gaynor will get there. Grimes got there first. Both the Luton Town substitutes are warming up. Darren McDonough, the midfielder, and Raphael Mead, who is a striker at a time when they're wanting goals. Mead, who played once for Arsenal, of course, and then went to Portugal, played for Sporting Lisbon, and then joined Luton from Dundee United. Here's Nigel Clough, who, as David Pleat saying, is making such an influence now, and Webb also coming so much more into the game. Breaker, though, for Luton. Wilson, he certainly won't stop running. Hill. Foster. And Grimes. Webb. To Clough, Parker away on the left. Chapman ready to make a little break for him through the middle, all to no avail. Breaker brings him down, a free kick. Clough still down. And the skipper there, the legs of the skipper you can see there are Stuart Pearce, who is saying to the referee, look, you can't keep allowing them to do this to our number 9. I think Tim Breaker, as an honest player, was genuinely going for the ball there, but his timing was all over the place, and he took Clough from behind, and quite properly the free kick's being given. Luton will shortly make a substitution. Darren McDonough on. There was Ashley Grimes, we think, who may be coming off, but not just for a moment. What's worrying us at the moment is what Nigel Clough or Stuart Pearce will do from this. 20 in the wall. Seeley's lined them up. How effectively we shall see in a moment. Pearce driving it, and it's over the top.
It was a lovely shot there as he drove the ball. Both Hodge and Webb fell down to get out the way in the wall, so there may be a slight chink which Pearce could have pierced.
Well, there's a substitute shortly to be made. They can't quite attract Roger Milford's attention at the moment, and it's Darren McDonough who will be coming on for Luton, a midfielder. Webb. Hodge. Forest beginning to look much more comfortable about their work now. They were edgy in that first half hour in particular, when Luton played so well against them. Foster going in. See where McDonough, what job he takes. There was a lot of speculation that he might be playing from the first whistle to try and mark Nigel Clough out of the game. Possibly Ray Harford is feeling that Clough is having too big an influence now, and they've got to put somebody specifically on him. But at the moment here are Luton now. Priest with a good little ball there. Harford playing it in for Black. And he was so close to getting in and getting a shot there. Also very close to Brian Laws conceding a penalty.
I almost thought Black might have been playing for the penalty, Brian. He seemed to hesitate.
Here's Ricky Hill. Try and get a look at that in a moment, David. Dispossessed by Neil Webb. Played inside for Nigel Clough. Ahead of him is Parker and Lee Chapman. Clough again. Oh, he's let that one go. Ashley Grimes with it. Little touch, and a good touch there by Harford. Priest tried to get that in behind the fullback. The flag in any case was up. The referee has allowed the game to go on with Nottingham
In possession, and here's Tommy Gaynor. Chapman again made a good break for him, getting towards that 6-yard box. There's Nigel Clough again. It's another one. Well, he's been Forest's top scorer for the last 3 seasons. He's top scorer again now. He's added 2 to his 17 that he's scored already this season. He's on 19. Sliding that in wide of Seeley, just inside the far post. And Forest now leading 3-1 with some valuable breathing space. David Fleet.
Well, there was just a little space there that was picked out. Coffey once again coming from a deeper position, whereas he's not standing up against the central defenders. He's coming all the time, drifting from deeper positions. And he's one of these players that has quite happy to have an early shot. He's not worried if there's bodies in front of him where he's got to make the perfect goal. He's quite happy to hit the ball, and it's crept in the far corner. And I think, to be fair to him, he's deserved it. He's played excellent. He plays with his head.
Meanwhile, the substitution has been made. Darren McDonough is on. It's good to see him on because he missed last year's final with an injury just 24 hours before the game against Arsenal. So good for you, Darren McDonough, even though you've come on at a time, a real crisis for Luton. 3-1 down. Gregory. Now Wilson. Strikes a good ball there towards Harford, and Wilson just got his head to that one, Terry Wilson. Gets it back.
That was the ball that did all the damage to Forest early on in the game, and it seems something that Luton have neglected as the game's gone on. But there was a glimpse of it again, and danger once again for Forest.
Steve Sutton.
About 11 minutes to go. David Fleet has to nominate our man of the match. I don't want you to name the man of the match, obviously, yet, David, but what sort of people are going through your mind?
Well, there's a few contenders, Brian. There's been lots of good football played out there, lots of good controlled football. Stevie Hodges broken very well, very energetically second half, and was influential, of course, in the most important goal, the equaliser. Nigel Clough has played splendidly all afternoon with an economy of effort and has been very influential as the game's gone on. And for Luton too, Mick Harford's done very, very well. He's caused all sorts of problems for the defenders, and he may at the end of the day just lack enough service from Luton to be even more successful.
Clough again though, to Lee Chapman, and that time the advantage wasn't played. Webb gets it back to Sutton. Just 10 minutes to go now. There's Gaynor. McDonough's after him. Gaynor gets it across. Who tracked back superbly there, Tim Breaker. Almost finished up with the press photographers. He was hurtling down towards that situation. It's a dangerous ball in by Gaynor again.
Yeah, you could say that Gaynor's gained confidence as the afternoon's gone on. I once saw him play in Southern Ireland when he played at Limerick, and I asked an Irish scout, is he quick or very quick? He said he's more deceptive than he looks. He's certainly played well this afternoon as the game's gone on.
Indeed. Well, a man who's more deceptive than he's looked, here he is. Well, he did well enough there, and he's found Hodge. Luton bring it away now with Ricky Hill. Foster venturing forward a little bit. McDonough. Luton's throw. Inside the last 10 minutes. Forest leading by 3 goals to 1. Harford versus Wilson. Harford touching it down for Wegley. Ricky Hill has a lovely little ball played by him. A delightful ball by Ricky Hill for Danny Wilson. And he's got a free kick out of it. That's what they say about Ricky Hill. You can watch him all day and he never gives the ball away. It was a lovely ball he played there for Wilson. Scooped nicely over the defender. Here's the free kick. Stuart Pearce there. Luton's corner. Freese and Webb getting it away. Freese once more. Chapman. Gaynor. Brought down very heavily there by Harford. Wilson. To Pearce. McDonough's header. Foster away. Webb. Wilson. Webb again. Forest, in fact, going, if they knew about it, it could be going for a record. The highest score in a League Cup final was 4 by West Bromwich Albion in the second leg. It used to be played over 2 legs in its early days. In 1966, the final, the second leg against West Ham, which they won 4-1. Well, Forest are 3-1 up here. Wilson. Barker. To watch it from the link way above Wembley this sunny afternoon. But this is where the action is down here as Breaker gets in. It's with Pearce. Forest on their way to a victory. They want to add the Synod Cup to that. Everton might have something to say about that. They'd like to add the FA Cup as well, but Liverpool certainly will have something to say about that in the semi-final. This is Beaumont. So 5 minutes of this game left now. Nigel Clough's 2 goals, one by Neil Webb, answering the opening goal for Luton by Mick Harford. a free kick to Forest. Here's Brian Laws. Hodge to Webb. There's Pearce. And the flag is up for an offside, I suspect against Gaynor, but possibly against Chapman. Wilson. Tough for Ray Harford. He's had a week off from his relegation worries with Luton Town, and it looked for so long, and Luton really did play well through that first half, as though it might be a day of glory for them again, but you sense now that it's not going to be. Forest are into their stride, they're looking comfortable and composed themselves. It's Wegerle. This is Beaumont. McDonough. Ricky Hill, play back for back. And taken at the second attempt. Well, he didn't get a chance to have a second attempt. Now he has, by Steve Sutton. They put something together quite respectable there inside the Nottingham Forest penalty area.
It all developed from a surge from Breaker. I think if Luton can look back, they might rue the difficulties that Grimes and Breaker have had of getting forward against Gaynor and Parker sitting in those spaces. And it's very difficult, if you don't get your full-backs in, it's very difficult to win games, particularly if you haven't got a winger that's going past the full-back on the afternoon.
There's about 2 minutes left, and short of the game being turned upside down by somebody in those 2 minutes, David, I just wonder if you might like to nominate your man of the match on this 1989 Littlewoods Cup final at Wembley.
Well, I'm going to give it to Nigel Clough, because he epitomises all that's good about Forest. He's a sportsmanlike player. He's played the game well today. He's dropped off deep. Luton haven't quite been able to cope with him in the second half. They haven't gone with him. He's dictated a lot of the play from a deep position. And, of course, his father is the manager. And I think he's fully deserves it this afternoon.
So Nigel Clough, man of the match. And for that he gets £1,000 of Littlewoods vouchers to go to the charity of his choice. And if I remember rightly, a cut glass decanter as well. And a winner's medal too, it would seem. Here's Beaumont now for Luton. In the last minute of the game, Ricky Hill. Wegerle's chasing, Walker's with him. I think a good word for the referee as well. We've never had a referee as a man of the match, but Roger Milford, it was that difficult decision so far as Lee Chapman's offside goal in the first half, but he seems to referee with a good humour, and the players have got on with it well.
I'm not sure, Brian, if it was Lee Chapman that they gave offside. It would be interesting to reflect on that at a later period. I don't think it was actually the fellow that put the ball in the net, but it's something that happened just a little bit earlier.
Here's a throw to Luton. And Beaumont. Once more high towards Mick Harford, a tactic that produced so much for them in the opening half hour of this game. Wilson, Breaker, just nicking it away from Parker, back to Steve Foster. They've pushed everybody forward, but it can't be more than a consolation gesture now on behalf of Luton Town. They get a corner, though. Playing time added on.
I think the important thing for Luton is that they take strength from the performance today and they go on and get out of trouble, and then they will have had a very successful season. Here's
their corner, driven in this time, but Parker getting it away for Nottingham Forest. Little Priest crossing it in again. That time Lee Chapman was there. McDonough driving it back again, but in amongst the clutch of photographers there. So a goal kick for Nottingham Forest. On their way past Chester, Coventry, Leicester, Queen's Park Rangers, Bristol City, and now
They beat Luton Town to take the 1989 Littlewoods Cup. Father and son. Brian Clough's first trophy since Nottingham Forest won the European Cup back in 1980. They were here that same year for the League Cup, but lost it to Wolves, having won it the 2 previous years. It's been a long time for Nottingham Forest not to have a trophy. But now it's started to come good for them, thanks to the goals that came in the second half. There's kisses come all around the bench there. Goals, 2 from Nigel Clough, 1 from Neil Webb. And a feeling of satisfaction there. You can see on the bench there he's set himself down. Most managers go out and say well done to the players, but he's never been one to conform. Johnny Fenton on the right, the assistant manager. Archie Gemmell you can see as well there. And Neil Webb, man who scored that important second goal that really got Forest feeling that this was going to be their day after Nigel Clough had equalised from the penalty spot. Liam O'Kane, one of the coaches. It's a great family feeling about Nottingham Forest whenever you go there, David, isn't it?
It's always been a friendly club, and it's always been a footballing club. Even back to the 1959 FA Cup final between these two clubs. They played football then and they still play football now, and that's a good thing. The principles have come through all the years, the different styles of play. They play football in the right manner, both clubs.
And a word of sympathy amidst all the jubilation for Luton Town as well, because I thought they put up a terrific performance, particularly in that first half, for a side that's really had its problems. Now it's they who go up first, because there's Franz Carr there. Nice to see him enjoying the celebrations, even though he missed the game through injury. It's one of the little traditions here that the losers go up first. But they lost with honour, Luton Town. A time the side that can. Brian Clough, that's an interesting and a pleasant sight to see, that he's congratulating every one of the players as they go up. Well done. I didn't know whether Danny Wilson's gone by or not. Probably he has, yes. He'd already gone by, the former Forest man. It's been a good sporting final, and he's not waiting for any of the celebrations. Off to the dressing room, would you believe it? He's not even going to watch Nottingham Forest get the cup. And they say he's a one-off there, right.
Well, in the meantime, let's have a look at Luton Town's moment of glory as they receive their trophies from Mr. Peter Moores, director of the Littlewoods organisation, and how well they battled until they were overcome by a much more fluent performance by Nottingham Forest in that second half. Brian Clough now running around the track to get the cheers of the Forest fans, making his way to the dressing room. And he wants the gate opened so that he can get down.
Well, I've seen it all now. As his team goes up to receive the trophy.
Led by Stuart Pearce. It's a longer climb these days to the Royal Box for weary footballers, and their headgear and their scarves and this swashbuckling character of a fullback, Stuart Pearce. The cup is back at Forest. It's been a long time coming. Steve Sutton, the goalkeeper. Little Steve Hodge, who lost here as a Tottenham man in the FA Cup final against Coventry. Lee Chapman, who's weighed in with 14 very useful goals this season. Brian Laws, who thought he might have missed it. Wes Walker, Nigel Clough, our man of the match. Gary Parker, once a Luton player. Tommy Gaynor. The faces change, but the smiles are always the same. And at the end of the day, you have to say, for all the excellent play that Luton showed in the first half, maybe at the end we got the right result.
Yeah, I think so, Brian. Luton did start very well, they settled much better, but in the end, Forest's fluency, as you say, and their passing, and they never panicked, even when Luton had a lot of the ball in the first half, were hitting those diagonal balls. Forest never panicked, and slowly, typical in their fashion, they got back into the game and were patient and got their just deserts.
Well, the big Wembley adventure is on for them. They're back here again for the Simod. They'll hope to be back here for the FA Cup, but now they've got the taste for it.